bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play. Mild and sweet their songs repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And the bells are ringing, peace on earth. Like a choir they're singing, peace on earth. In my heart I hear them, peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bow my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. But the bells are ringing, peace on earth. Like a choir they're singing, peace on earth. Does anybody hear them? Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then rang the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. Peace on earth, peace on earth. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail. With peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then ringing, singing on its way. The world revolved from night to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And the bells they're ringing, peace on earth. Like a choir they're singing, peace on earth. And with our hearts we hear them, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Do you hear the bells they're ringing? Peace on earth, like the angels singing, peace on earth. Open up your heart and hear them. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so pleased to have you join us at this year's Park Memorial Annual Christmas Remembrance Service. If you don't mind, please checking your phones to make sure they're off before the service begins. Would appreciate it. Thank you. I am Kirsty Smolik, third-generation funeral director of my family and president of Park Memorial. I have had the privilege of hosting this ceremony for over 10 years. Although it has taken on new meaning since I lost my own father in 2017. I too understand the pain of loss at Christmas time. It's a season full of emotion on its own, let alone when you add a personal loss to that. It can feel crippling at times. Christmas is all about being with those that you love, and when someone you love is missing, everything is different. So with the idea that togetherness brings comfort, I welcome you to this Lights of Christmas themed service. The lights of Christmas. In Christmas lights, their spirits gleam, soft whispers in a cherished dream. Though gone, they shine forever near, guiding us with love so dear. They glow in lights, a tender trace. In Christmas warmth, we feel their grace. Though time may part, love's always here. In festive cheer, they reappear. As we gather today, we are united by a shared love and a common purpose, to honor and remember those who are no longer with us. In the soft glow of Christmas lights, we find a symbol of their enduring presence, a beacon of the love and warmth they brought into our lives. Though they may not be here in person, their spirits shine brightly, guiding us with love and reminding us that they are forever near. As the poem says, in Christmas lights their spirits gleam, soft whispers in a cherished dream. Today, let us embrace the tender traces they have left in our hearts and find solace in the festive cheer that brings them once close again. May the lights of Christmas fill us with their grace, and may this gathering provide comfort and peace as we cherish their memories together. Thank you for being here and for sharing in this moment of remembrance and love. One of our staff family wrote a poem entitled Colors of Christmas for our ceremony last year, and I wanted to share it once more again. Colors of Christmas. Inside there is a dimness, I've kept the lights down low, but still I must begin this hard journey through the snow. I travel under darkened skies, the trees are wrapped in lights, all twinkling blue, just like your eyes, on joyful Christmas nights. The memory dispels, I try to push the thoughts away, but silver bells seem to sing farewells I never got to say. Storefronts boast their winter wares adorned in gold and crimson red. The smiles on folks shopping in pairs are starting to hurt my head. It's the colors that remind me of you when you were around. Angel wings, white and pearly, cookies freshly oven browned. Cheer abounds, but I feel trapped by rosy cheeks and knitted hats, and tinsel bits and presents wrapped. Your favorite this, your treasured that. My eyes well up with mournful tears, the colors bleed and blend. That's when I hear, I've not disappeared. I'm everywhere, my friend. I freeze, the shock dissolves distress, though my tears run hot and clear. It all hurts just a little less, knowing you are here. Now we would like to listen to the first Noel, please.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King
Thank you, that was lovely. I am now honored to welcome Mike Cameron to the podium. Mike has been lending his grief support experience to Park Memorial's monthly men's grief support events, and he has some lovely words of comfort and inspiration to share with us. Mike?
Thank you, Kirsty. Friends, I am incredibly grateful to be here to share this space with you. You know, as Kirsty was reading that poem, the line that struck me was, "I'm everywhere, my friend." Their presence here is strong today. And that's largely why I wrote down everything I'm going to share with you today, so I wouldn't get lost. My name is Mike Cameron, and ever since my wife and I split up in 2012, Christmas has been, well, let's just say Christmas has been complicated for me. You see, every year after we split, in the name of doing what was best for the kids, I sucked it up. I had everybody over to my new place, my parents, my kids, my ex, my in-laws, everybody. Year after year, I had an absolute terrible time setting any boundaries for myself whatsoever, all in the name of doing what was best for my family. Year after year, I did it. Everyone would come over, year after year, no boundaries for me. And every year, I found it just a little bit more difficult to manage. And frankly, I started to dread the holiday season more and more, which is not something I wanted. Christmas had always been a magical time for me growing up. Eventually, my relationship status with Christmas evolved from "it's complicated" to a profound dislike. But that's not something you can really say out loud, is it? I mean, after all, Christmas is a magical time. It's a time of joy and cheer. After all, who doesn't love Christmas? 3 years later, I met a woman. And oh, what a woman. Beautiful, smart, a yogi, a painter, a potter, a photographer, an artist, an all-around beautiful soul. And I started to think that maybe, just maybe, this was my opportunity for a reset, a Christmas do-over. Sadly, that was not to be the case. On October 2nd of 2015, Colleen was killed in a murder-suicide by an ex-boyfriend. Once again, my Christmas shattered. As we know, Christmas is never the same after the loss of a loved one. My profound dislike had now evolved into a distinct loathing of the holidays. However, once again, I hate Christmas isn't something you can really say out loud, is it? It's not something we're supposed to feel. Now, I've had 9 years, 9 Christmas seasons to deal with this loss, and I want this to be a message of hope. But that first year, it was not. That first year, I did the same thing again. I sucked it up. I had everybody over to my house, my parents, my ex, my in-laws, and I did my best to put on that Christmas mask. But at some point on Christmas Day, I just couldn't do it anymore. I needed to escape. So I left the house, I left everybody there. I drove out to Blackfoot Provincial Park, and I did what I do for an escape. I went for a 4-hour run out in Blackfoot Provincial Park. I came back after dark, carried on my obligations, finished my duties, finished off the season. And I'll never forget that next year, as I was talking to Mom and Dad who live in Vancouver and making plans for that next Christmas when they would come out to visit again. And I will never forget chatting with Mom, making plans. We agreed when they'd come out, how we were going to do things that year. And as we wrapped up the conversation, she looked at me and she said, maybe this year you'll be a little more present. I was gutted, absolutely gutted. Where was the empathy? Where was the compassion? Where was the understanding? And what I've come to realize is that in the face of the loss of a loved one, not everyone gets it. You know, could be your mom, could be your best friend, your business partner, or random acquaintances. And for me, there didn't seem to be any rhyme nor reason to who got it. It brings to mind a line from Ram Dass's letter to Rachel that a friend had shared with me. Our rational minds will never understand what has happened, but our hearts, if we keep them open, will find their own intuitive way. I could have got lost asking that question, why? Why? Sometimes there's just no rational answer. And for me, what I had to do is carry this mantra with me that I still hold with me today, 9 years later. And that is for me to surround myself with those that get it and forgive the ones that don't. Especially when they're your mom. Since then, I have done my absolute best to ignore the holidays. I found them incredibly difficult. But no matter what I do, every single December, it shows up, whether I like it or not. My new partner, Michelle, also has a complicated relationship with Christmas, so it hasn't been super difficult to try and ignore. But this year, something came up for me that shifted things. I was driving down to Canmore, my home, a couple of weeks ago, and I was chatting with a new friend on the phone, and I was telling him a little bit about how I felt about Christmas. And I fully expected that he was going to respond with the usual, but Christmas is magical. But to his credit, he didn't. Instead, he told me about his love for the winter solstice, the celebration of the longest night of the year. He described it as a time for rest, reflection, and the promise of renewal. And I'm not going to lie, my first instinct was to resist. I don't like Christmas. How could I find hope in something that had brought me so much pain for so many years? But the more we talked, the more I started to see things differently. You see, the solstice isn't about ignoring the darkness. It's about honoring it as a necessary part of life. There can be no light without dark, no joy without sorrow. That contrast is what makes the light feel so much brighter. The winter solstice is a profound reminder that life is a constant interplay of light and dark, and both are essential to the human experience. Celebrating this contrast allows us to embrace the wholeness of who we are, of who they were, and who they continue to be. who they will always be. To honor the cycles of nature and find hope in the promise of brighter days ahead. The more we talked, I started to feel this little ember start to glow inside my heart. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope for a brighter Christmas. And then he shared a story with me. And I thought I knew exactly where he was going to go, but it was not at all what I expected. He shared the analogy of a broken vase. When you have a piece of pottery that shatters, he said, you have three options of what to do with it. He says, one, you can grab a broom, you can sweep it up, and you can toss it in the garbage. He says, or two, you can gather up those pieces, try and reassemble them, glue them back together in some semblance of what was, but they'll never be the same. They'll always have those scars. And then he said, or three, he said, you can take those shattered pieces, gather them up, and create a brand new mosaic, something completely different than its original form. You know, for the first few years, I tried to reassemble something and failed miserably. The last 8 or 9 years, I've done my best to sweep up those pieces and toss them in the garbage. Frankly, that hasn't worked for me. So this year, as he talked about gathering up those pieces and building an entirely new mosaic out of those shattered pieces, that resonated with me. To create something beautiful out of all those shattered pieces. That realization allowed me to let go of what no longer serves me and embrace the chance to create something meaningful this holidays. Even though they might still feel a little bit uncomfortable, I can still do my best to try and make them beautiful in some way. For me, as I navigate the holiday season, it's important to remember that how I approach these shattered pieces of my life are my choice. I get to decide, I get to choose what I do with those shattered pieces. The holidays can be like life, both light and dark, joyful and challenging. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be both and. We can still feel heavy and still find the joy and find the beauty. If the holidays are heavy for you, know that you're not alone. One of my favorite things with Colleen was the depth of conversation we used to have. We spent a lot of time reading books, listening to podcasts, having deep philosophical conversations. My absolute favorite conversation with her was on the topic of talent. And I remember asking her, I said, "What do you think your talent is?" She replied immediately. She said, "Oh, I make things beautiful," which she absolutely did. As an artist, a painter, a potter, a photographer, a videographer, she had the knack for finding the beauty in everything. It was an inspiration to me. She turned the question around and she said, "What do you think your talent is?" And I got to tell you, I kind of hummed and hawed and I said, I've been successful by a lot of standard measures, but, I don't know that I have a particular talent or a particular gift. And I said, what do you think my talent is? And she said, oh, you've got a much more useful talent. I said, oh, what's that? She said, yeah, you make stuff happen. I was like, oh, all right, as an entrepreneur, a businessman, I kind of like that. So there you had it. She made things beautiful. I made stuff happen. Together, we were going to make beautiful stuff happen. I vowed on that day, on October 2nd of 2015, that I would continue to do my best to make beautiful stuff happen in this world in her honor. And honestly, I don't entirely know what the possibilities are this year. I don't entirely know what this looks like. But I'm excited to explore some new possibilities with my partner, Michelle. So whether you choose to sweep up the pieces and toss them out, or you choose to try and reassemble that vase into some semblance of what it used to be, or whether you choose to do what I'm going to attempt to do and gather those pieces up and build a brand new, beautiful mosaic from all those shattered pieces. I want to invite you to do the best that you can do to make beautiful stuff happen in your life this holiday season. Merry Christmas, friends.
Thank you so much, Mike, for blessing us with your words of comfort and inspiration as we enter into this time of year, as we know it holds so many conflicting emotions for us all. Thank you also to our musicians today, pianist David Murray and soloist Ella Zanari. We thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts with us today. Appreciate you. As Mike said to us today, it is good to be reminded that there is always hope, even when we have been shattered, and to look for the beauty in life, because there's always a smidge of it there somewhere. Sometimes we just have to look a little harder. In a few moments, David and Ella will perform the Christmas carol, Silver Bells, during which our Park Memorial staff team will come forward and guide you out of the chapel back into our lobby. As you leave today, you will also receive a colorful little Christmas tree ornament in the shape of a Christmas light. These were lovingly made by the very own hands of our Park Memorial staff team. They are meant for you to hang on your Christmas tree or wherever you'd like to remind you of our time together and the fact that it is okay to feel all of your varying and colorful mosaic of feelings during the holidays. You'll be also offered some information that details all of our current grief support programs, including our Art for the Grieving Heart series. We have another one happening this Wednesday, and you're invited to join us. It also includes information on our tribute tree that's in the lobby. If you did not see it, please take a look at it on your way out. If you have not participated in the program, we invite you, and you are still encouraged to do so that you can have a personalized ornament of your loved one hanging on our tree through the Christmas season. If you do have any questions about our grief support programs, please seek out our staff member, Christy Hammond, not Kirsty Smolik, but Christy Hammond, who is over here. And she will be in the lobby waiting for you as you leave. On behalf of my Smolik family and our Park Memorial staff family, I warmly thank you all so much for joining us today. I know how hard this holiday season can be for those of us grieving our loved ones, and I honor the reality that coming here today was likely a little bit difficult for some of you. My wish for all of you this Christmas is that you will feel the presence of your loved ones near, and that amidst the sadness, you will find comfort in the memories that you hold dear of them. May the lights of Christmas find you all in some way. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a 2025 filled with peace, hope, and comfort. Thank you for joining us today. Ella and David, we'll have you play Silver Bells.
Christmas makes you feel emotional. It may bring parties or thoughts devotional. Whatever happens or what may be, here is what Christmas time means to me. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. String of street lights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene, and above all this bustle you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quail.